International Heavyweight Champion. From New Orleans, weighing 222.5 pounds, the Hustler Rip Rogers. And he's accompanied in the ring area by his manager, Sir Robert Joseph Bass III. His opponent hails from Vancouver, BC, weighing 230 pounds, Mike Lozansky. And your referee for this match, the Alaskan Bear.
Well, we've got the Alaskan Bear refereeing this match, and maybe this is what it'll take to cut down on some of the interference that's been going on outside the ring in some of the matches involving Rip Rogers. Of course, no class Bobby Bass has been only too willing to stick his nose into business where it doesn't belong. Here we've got Lozansky, a title shot against Rogers, and with the Alaskan Bear refereeing, who knows, maybe that Mike Lozansky will get a better than even chance here against the champion, Hustler Rip Rogers. Big Stephen Pettipaw joins us at the interview table, and Stephen, I think you'd have to agree that with the Alaskan Bear in there, keeping an eye on things, Mike Lozansky, I think, can be a little more comfortable that his backside is covered.
Well, the Alaskan is a big man himself. No, he is a former professional wrestler, and he is going to call the shots the way they come. No, not saying that Ron Gogan is not doing a good job out there. You can't see everything. But right here, I think we're going to see a real good technical match.
Rip Rogers with a leg lock here on Lozansky. Rogers, of course, is known for his figure four, but I don't think he'll go to it this early. Here's Rogers now getting stopped with a wrist lock, and Lozansky. What's this now? Oh, my.
See what happens here. Lozansky has a very good background in amateur wrestling, and that's one of Rip Rogers' big assets, his technical style of wrestling. So now he's got somebody in there that can wrestle with him.
Oh, there's no question that Rip Rogers does possess a tremendous amount of athletic ability. There's no question the man does train. You know, Bobby Bass notwithstanding, Stephen, I do give Rip Rogers full marks for his athletic ability, for the fact that he does train, believe it, folks, 4 hours a day over there at the Fitness Bank on Mountain Road, Memphis. But it still doesn't take away from some of the shenanigans. And we all know what those are. Here's Rogers now outside the ring. He's been decked pretty hard there by Lozansky. Rogers now needs some time to collect his thoughts. He's going to go over and confer with Bobby Bass for just a moment.
It's not a secret, Gary, now that I'm after Rip Rogers' international title, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm sitting here watching him real closely. And it's so obvious that Bob Brown is trying so hard to take my concentration away from Rip Rogers. But Brown, it ain't going to work. As soon as I can get my hands on Rogers in a title match.
Right.
I'm so confident.
Now, Stephen, would you be prepared to say at this point, I know you've probably discussed this with your lawyers, but should they give you a title match to the combination of Rogers and his manager, Bob Bass, would you be requesting that the Alaskan Bear be made the referee for that match, or would that matter?
Not necessarily. I have a lot of confidence in Ron Gogan. Ron's been around for a long time. He calls it as he sees it. But it doesn't matter who the referee is in there.
Tremendous match going on right now, though. Mike Lozansky, he's gunning for the international championship, and he does have a pretty good opportunity here. He's in against Rip Rogers and doing a fair job, although Rogers able to come back with a...
I had one title match with him this year in Bridgewater, and it went 1 hour draw. It went a 60-minute draw. There was no winner on it. So before the season is over, I'm going to have another title shot.
Well, I'm surprised, Stephen, that you haven't received another one, and you haven't received one on television. But you have to ask yourself, I'm sure you do when you go home at night, how much is Bobby Bass affecting the career of Rip Rogers? How much influence does he have in terms of making sure that...
Now look at this. Now, the match started as a very technical match. Now,
Yes.
What kind of wrestling is this?
I agree with you.
You know?
I agree with you. There's no place in professional wrestling for this sort of behavior. And it's just a shame that Rogers...
Because the guy Rip Rogers does have good wrestling ability. And he comes out and does this kind of move.
No, that's right. And certainly the fans sour on that. And, you know, we can't help but sour on that from here.
Moves like that is probably where Bobby Bass comes into play.
I was going to say, though, that Bass also, I think, has a fair amount to do with making sure that contracts don't get returned and things get lost in the mail and things of that nature. He's able to complicate things. It makes it harder to get to the champion.
That was a hard DDT that you just received there. I'm very surprised that he kicked out on that.
Just a count of 2. Lozansky now goes headfirst into the turnbuckle. Mike Lozansky, a hard slap to the throat area. Now Rogers with an elbow to the back of the head. Here's Rip Rogers. Oh, a reversal. And look at this. Lozansky ran right into the right boot of Rip Rogers. The hustler from New Orleans, the current international heavyweight wrestling champion. Rogers takes his man off the ropes. Oh, Lozansky. And oh, my, Rogers.
That backfired on him, eh? That's how fast of reaction in the mind of Rip Rogers. Well, he really thinks fast.
Rogers now taunting Big Steven Pettipaw. Here's a suplex. And Lozansky is down and out on the canvas while Rogers applauds his own maneuver. Oh, look at this. Rogers almost paying for his bout of egomania. Here's a hard shot to the midsection. Lozansky, I think, is doing a tremendous job, and I'm sure you'd agree, Stephen, of hanging in there.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Lozansky. He's taking a good beating, but he keeps on fighting back. Do
you think the longer he hangs in there, the more chance he has that Rogers could get so overconfident?
I wrestled with Rip Rogers a 1-hour draw in Bridgewater, and the guy was still in tip-top shape at the end of the hour. So, and believe me, it took everything I had to keep going.
Here's Rogers. He has his man down. Rogers now giving the referee, the Alaskan Bear, a hard time. Rogers thinking that the Alaskan was a little slow. Now here's Lozansky coming back, and Rogers responding right away with an eye rake.
He's got long fingernails, believe me. Scratches right in the eye all the time with it.
Look at this. Look at this. Rogers, though, is... Now he's going down. The shoulders are there, but Rogers kicks out.
Here's a small package. He's
got a package, and Rogers able to kick out once again. Here's a body slam attempt that fails, but Rogers is able to again kick out. The champion.
Gonna get him.
The champion missing on that toss, and now everyone's turned around. Both men were trying to outmaneuver the other, and here's Rogers now just dropping straight with an elbow.
He drops that elbow bone right in the Adam's apple. Really cuts the wind out of it.
Oh, reverse suplex by Lozansky. Rogers is down. Look at this. Lozansky. He's putting up a tremendous fight. And here's Lozansky again, ramming the head of the champion into the turnbuckle. Lozansky now coming off the top rope. Oh, my. It could be all over. Nice. 2, and Rogers is able to kick out. I thought for sure it was all over and that we might have had a new champion. Here's Lozansky ducking that right. And oh, my. Rogers now with a pin. 2, 3. And the hustler, Rip Rogers, narrowly escapes defeat and is able to hang on to his championship belt.
Buddy, that's why you're the international champion, because we beat them all, and look who's walking away, the bum. Rip, go ahead, brother, tell him.
Keep on talking.
Okay, brother.
Look, that Lozansky about beat me.
Yeah.
He almost beat me.
You know what? He didn't beat you because you got the experience, you got it together, and you are the champ. And what do you got to say about yourself, funky face?
Well, I'll tell you this much,
Yeah?
Rip Rogers, that you can't quite swagger and boast as much as you have been because you nearly lost that title.
Of course I nearly lost the title. Mike Lozansky is a great professional wrestler. But I did beat him.
Right.
So what that brings to is that anytime Leo Burke wants a shot at me, bring it on down.
Right.
Whenever Bobby Kay wants a shot at me, come on down anytime.
Is Leo Burke going to get a shot? Are you going to sign?
When the time is right. And as far as Stephen Pettipaw, all 6'4", 275-pound gorilla, anytime, any place, anywhere, sucker.
That's right.
And if Paul Peller wants to stick his nose in my business, I'll be glad to give him a title shot too, because I got the #1 manager in all professional wrestling today, and that's Mr. First Class Bobby Bass.
All right, we'll be back. Don't go away. We'll have more here on World Grand Prix Wrestling.
I said, get ready, get ready, get ready. I got the dots on. I got the elbow ready, baby. We're gonna see it. Let's do it right now.